Okay, so Jai Shri Krishna to everyone. So today we will be reading the verses from chapter 4 of Bhagwad Gita. So chapter 4 talks about Yajna, and it helps us understand what is the real meaning of Yajna, what we have seen and what we know as Yajna is the offerings that we make in the fire. Okay, so that kund will be prepared, that you may call it altar. And in Rig Veda, there are a specification that has to be followed for preparing that altar. Okay, so it should be of this dimension, this length, and all those things are specified. And then you lit fire, and then you put uh, things like ghritam, ghee, and then jaw, til. Okay, so these are grains. So you see, these were written in the background of agricultural economy. So our society that time was agrarian. Okay, and these food items were valuable things, things which were valued. So what our rishis and munis understood, that if you have to offer something to God who lives at the higher planet, that higher planet they called Swarg, and still there is a concept of Swarg. So how these offerings can be made to them? So the offerings can be made to them through Yajna. So Yajna was an action wherein offerings will be made in fire, and fire was supposed to be the carrier. Understand? The fire was supposed to be the carrier of what you are offering to the God who lives at the higher planet. Now, as I tell you, in previous sessions also I have told you that, we do graduation in a gradual manner. Like, we start from play school, then nursery, then primary, secondary, higher, then university. So that time, that much knowledge was not there. Okay. People were afraid of natural forces. Okay. So wherever there was force, they imagined that there is some power which is controlling that force. So Vayu, they imagined it, they created Vayu, rain was very important in agrarian economy. Okay, because everything depended on the rain. So how your harvest will be good or bad. So Indradev was there, and yajnas were performed to please these gods. So please these natural forces. Okay, so that was the beginning. Vedant, that is the climax of Veda, gave you the real meaning of yajna. So lighting fire, then offering ghritam and jaw, til, those expensive grains in fire, those were denied. Okay, it is of no use. Understand? Those are not yajna. That is not the meaning of yajna. So there are many things which were there in Veda where the meaning of those were either refined or they were completely denied. Now we understand that is the reason to be a spiritual, you have to know science. Now you tell me how something which will be put in fire and will go to, some god, and that god is also imaginary. We have imagined, we have created those gods, whether it is Indra or Pavan Dev or, Surya Dev. Okay, wherever we saw natural force, we imagined since we are human being. So the gods also became like us, like a human being. We created, we gave them, we portrayed them like one of us. Okay, with some special power. Sometimes we gave them 2 additional hands, some additional heads and all. So Gita says, okay, Gita has refined the meaning of God, yajna. Okay, so that's not yajna. Okay, still we are doing it, but that's more of a ritual. and function to celebrate, and it's more to do with your psychology. Okay, you feel that you have done something good, uh, and probably it helps you, just like, uh, what I will say, just like the pills, okay, which actually is uh, not a medicine, but it helps. उसको क्या बोलते हैं? I forgot. कौन सा इफेक्ट? प्लेसिबो इफेक्ट. Okay, but it has been refined in Bhagwad Gita, and it has been very well described and clarified what exactly is the meaning of yajna. So to say it in one line, any action done in the spirit of renunciation is yajna. Yajna means sacrifice. Yajna means sacrifice. Remember this. So action done in the spirit of renunciation is yajna. Choro, choro, choro. Leave it, leave it, leave it. So what is something that you need to renunciate so that you evolve? Spiritually, you evolve. And that is the desire. So desire is the root cause of all sins, that we suffer from. Desire is the root cause of all sins that we suffer from. Sin is what? Sin is suffering. कोई अगले जन्म में कोई ये पाप नहीं होता है कि I will do something in this life and I will suffer in another life. No, there is nothing like this, and it is unscientific also. Okay, if you do something wrong, you will suffer in this life itself. If you didn't suffer, you escaped. Be happy. Okay, so the fruit of your action will cause suffering for you in this life itself. If you eat something wrong, you will be sick in this life only. You will not be sick in the other life. If you don't have right lifestyle, you will suffer with diseases in this life itself, not in the next life. And it is unscientific also. You eat sweets in this life and you will be diabetic in the next life. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so our munis, they recognized it, that the desire is the root cause of all the sins, all the problems, all the miseries that we suffer from in this human life. So sacrificing these or burning these desires is actually the meaning of yajna. Okay, that is actually the yajna. Now we will recite some of the verses, some of the related verses, and we'll delve into the meaning and make it interactive. Today I see many people. Okay, so you can ask questions. And as I always tell, that Gita is not a book for a particular community. This is for entire humanity. The purpose of the knowledge which is there in Gita, to uplift you, to help you evolve, to help you free from miseries. Okay, that is the purpose of Gita. Okay, so let's start with recitation. I will share my screen. I have compiled those verses, and meaning also you can see and read, and then you can ask questions. Okay, and it is not something rocket science or so difficult. Only difference is, you guys don't involve much in spiritual subjects. I involve, so I have this information which is lacking on your side, and I had willingness to do this. And once you understand, once you have knowledge, ना, बहुत सारी आस्थाएं जो है सो तुम्हारी टूटेंगी, बहुत तकलीफ होगा, you will realize that whatever I have been doing since my childhood, my God, that was all illusion. So, it might be sometimes painful also. And that is the reason in many houses, in many families, you know, especially in the families, we are Purohits, we are told, we are forbidden from studying Bhagwad Gita. Okay, it is discouraged. So let's start with the verse number 25th from chapter 4. I will recite the verse. Now we see Sanskrit language is a poetic language. It's not all about knowledge. It's about literature also. So the beauty of Sanskrit is, you can write very good poetic verses, in this language. So let me read it. दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते ब्रह्माग्नावपरे यज्ञं यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्वति. So what does it say? It is at the beginning level. So when you start, now you see, beginning level in the university, in the play school, what did you do? In the play school, you did like this. Okay. Om Swaha, Om Swaha, Om Swaha. That was a play school. Okay. Once your knowledge is refined, when you started understanding things, then the meaning had changed. Okay. So what you do, your intention or your actions, your tendencies are to burn your demonical nature. Okay. Demonical nature means something which is not good either for you or for the community that you live in, for the society. So the burning of those attributes, this is at the beginning level, and acquiring the divine attributes. Okay, so that tryst, the strive or the actions that you do towards achieving this goal or objective is yajna. So very clearly says Gita, what is yajna? Yajna is not that ritual that you do by burning fire and offering ghritam and all those expensive grains in it. Okay, so and how you achieve this? Definitely you achieve this through sacrifice, because you see, by nature we tend to do wrong things. Okay, by nature we tend to get up late. By nature we tend to engage in mobile and watch clips or shorts. By nature we tend to eat or I will say binge and then drink. Okay, this is our nature. We have to get rid of this demonic nature. This is basically demonic nature. Okay, and then acquire the divine attributes. Whatever you do, whether it is a self-control, there may be various methods to achieve this objective, and you have to act, you have to do something, to achieve this objective. So whatever you do, that is yajna. Definitely you are sacrificing. Your friends invited you, come on dear, we will have drinks together. We will party tonight. But you sacrificed it. Okay, because you want better attribute. You are invited to binge on those oily food and all those things, or it's your exam time. Okay, and you are invited by your friend for game or something, but no, you sacrifice it. I will rather study. So this is at the beginning level. And now what is God? So in our culture we have so many gods. So I told you all these gods are symbolic, and it is our imagination. Wherever we saw power, okay, what we did? we portrayed it as a God. Since we are human beings, so our God is also like human being. Okay, that is the reason we have so many gods. Natural power in wind, natural power in water, Varun Dev, natural power in sun, we saw. So we created, so many gods. And our Munis, they wrote so many kathas. Okay, kathas, it's like, what we call in English, we call epic. Okay, in those epics, there were characters, good characters with divine attribute. There were characters with demonic attributes. What we did, we took all those characters with divine attributes and started worshipping them, and they also became God. That is the reason we have so many gods. But when you worship these gods, your tendencies, your objective is, it's a pure objective, good objective. You want to be like that God. For example, when I am worshipping goddess uh, Saraswati, what is my intention? My intention is to acquire knowledge or acquire a skill. So she is the goddess of knowledge and skill. So when I worship her, I will do things which will help me acquire knowledge, acquire a skill. Definitely, I will I will engage myself in those activities which help me acquire a skill and acquire knowledge when I am worshipping goddess Saraswati. When I am worshipping goddess Lakshmi, my actions will have objective. What will be the objective? To acquire wealth. When I am worshipping Hanuman, my objective will be to acquire strength. So, I will go to Akhara and, will do exercise and make myself strong. So, that is also yajna. You worship God with your actions intended towards acquiring the quality, divinity those gods represent, those gods stand for. So this is again, at initial level. So दैवमैवा परे यज्ञम योगिनः पर्युपासते ब्रह्माग्नाव परे यज्ञम यज्ञे नैवोपजुह्वति. Now, those who have objective to attain a spirituality. So what is a spirituality? Getting lesser and lesser associated with your body and staying in your consciousness is something, being a spiritual. So once you become a spiritual, you rise above the material plane. This I told in my previous sessions also. Okay. Now, Allah or, Brahma, what we call. So Gita also propounds that there is only one God. Satya is only one. Okay. In Sanskrit, it is called Brahma. In Arabic, it is called Allah. Okay. In Christianity, they call, God. But God is only one. Demigods can be many. Like in Hindu, in Indian culture, we have so many demigods. But the God is only one. That is Brahma. And God has no shape. You cannot touch it. It is not material thing. God is not a material thing. It is a spirit. So when you want to get dissolved into, a spirituality, then you rise above the material plane. So you do things with your intention to rise above the material plane. That is also yajna. That is, that's what has been said. Brahmagnav pare yajnam. When your intention, so you get less worried about, your body needs. Body needs comfort. Body needs sumptuous diet. Understand? Those things become lesser important for you. You eat, but you eat to survive and to live healthy, not to please your body or, to enjoy uh, or to give pleasure to your body. That is also a kind of yajna, where you start dissociating yourself with your physical needs. Okay. So Daivameva pare yagyam yoginah paryupasate brahmagnav pare yagyam yagye naivopajuhvati. So then you move from novice level to higher level. Okay. So you worship demigods to acquire the intended attribute. Okay, that is the reason, when we were kid, we used to focus more on Devi Saraswati, because we were all students, and in Brahmin family, knowledge is supreme. So everyone is working towards acquiring knowledge. So we will worship Devi Saraswati. So that is right intention. And with your desired intention, you worship different God. And we used to work hard. You will not believe, but my father used to wake me up in class 5 itself at 3 o'clock in the morning. Start studying. Bhaiya padhai karo. Okay, so that is also a sacrifice, and that is yajna. That is the yajna. Understand? Ravi? Ravi? भाई म्यूट में हो?
या यस सर हेलो।
नहीं, हम लोग के पापा जो है सो कि 3 बजे सुबह ही जगा देते थे।
यस
चलो नेताहाट का किताब दे दिए, पकड़ो, तैयारी करो।
यस
Understand?
सर।
So that was also yajna.
सर वो एक ये भी है
Hmm.
जाग मुसाफिर भोर भयो, अब रैन कहाँ को लागत है, जो सोवत है सो खोवत है, जो जागत है सो पावत
Power. Okay.
है।
So that is yajna. Yajna, as I told you, yajna is sacrifice. Rituals, olden days. Okay, that was a play school we did. But Vedant says you do sacrifice, and that is all the yajna is. Now let's recite the second poem. Okay. Adil is also there. So Adil will also understand what exactly, Hindu religion is, and what people think about it. Like, many people make fun, stating that, you have lakhs of God, you have God like, who looks like elephant, looks like a monkey, and all. So now he is also part of this session, so he will understand, the reality, the fact. Okay, so it's good. The next verse. श्रोत्रादीनीन्द्रियाण्यन्ये संयमाग्निषु जुह्वति शब्दादीन् विषयान् अन्य इंद्रियाग्निषु जुह्वति. Now the next level, controlling your sense organs. Okay, Shrotradini means sunna, to hear. Okay, so here it represents senses, sense organs. Now your sense organs, you go to market, it will look at something, and then desire will, you know, come out. Okay. देखा एप्पल का मोबाइल, oh, I should buy it. देखा एडिडास का जूता, I should have it. Okay. So these senses are the generators of desire. Okay. And it needs to be controlled. देखा हलवा पूरी, खाने का मन कर गया. Okay. So when you, through your self-control, when you control your senses and your mind, okay, that is also yajna. That is the next level of yajna. Now you have started controlling your senses by, I am determined. For example, I was in Zambia, and many of you who know me, I control my food. Okay, I will take hard food. I also feel like eating, easy food, easy to digest, and all those junk food and all. Even, because I am like any of you. But through this learning, I realized, no, it has to be controlled. To stay away from misery, I have to control my diet, or I have to control my desire to eat, you know, uh, this and that. So that is self-controlled. So this is yajna. You understand the meaning of yajna? That was the first level, wherein you do things to acquire the attributes that you desire. Okay. So whether it is Saraswati, whether it is Bajrangabali, or whether it is Goddess Lakshmi. Second level, so at a novice level, desire is there. There is desire to acquire information, a skill which will help you survive well. When you worship Goddess Lakshmi, there is desire of wealth. You are desiring wealth. When you worship Lord Hanuman, there is desire of being strong, and defeat, so that you can defeat someone or protect yourself. But the next level of yajna is you start sacrificing your desire itself. Okay, through the sense control. I will not buy iPhone, even if my mind is telling, go for iPhone. Arey, you have credit card. Yeah, come on, you don't have money, no problem. Credit card is there, buy it. Okay, so when you start doing this, you have money to go and binge in some buffet restaurant, but you control it. So that is the second level of yajna, second level of sacrifice. Okay, and then second line, if you see, Shabdadin Vishyan Anya Indriyagni Sujuyat. By keeping yourself away from the objects of senses. Each sense has, it's a sense object. What your eye needs, something entertaining to watch. Something entertaining to watch, like these shorts are there in YouTube. Okay, keep watching, keep watching. Okay, or a movie. Now, when you start living in consciousness, you think, is it the right use of my time? Am I using my time rightly? Okay. Maybe, I feel like playing cards, and, this goes on for hours. So when you keep yourself away from the objects of senses, okay, comfort, you got very good bed. Chalo, let's take rest. Huh? Let's enjoy the luxury. Okay. So when you keep yourself away from these sense objects, this is the second level of yajna, sacrifice. And that is the reason you see the philosophers, the munis who were so smart, they used to stay in jungle, in a simple hut. And in that hut, king will go and lie in their feet, in Muni's feet. So from that perspective, you see, who is great? King is great, or that Muni is great who is living in hut? Okay. So Muni has achieved something. He has achieved control. He has become free from desire, kamana, what we call in Sanskrit. And that is what the liberation is. जो बोलते हैं ना कि he is a liberated person. Liberated means what? वो क्या थोड़ी होता है कि जान निकल गया शरीर से, नहीं. Liberated means now he is free from desires. And desires are all elusive. Someone might be very desirous about flying in plane. But you ask someone who is frequent flyer, flying is just a pain for him. He will try to avoid flying as much as possible. Or he does it because, he has to do it. But it's not something, a luxury or something, doing out of, desire or entertainment. Understand? So freedom from desire. Control. So how you can get it? Through controlling your sense organs and keeping yourself away from the sense objects. अरे भाई ठीक है रहने दो, okay, give it aside, I don't need it. Okay, so basically the fire of restraint, you burn your desires in the fire of restraint. That is the real yajna. Okay, then let's look at the 27th verse. सर्वाणींद्रिय कर्माणि प्राण कर्माणि चापरे आत्मसंयम योगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञान दीपते दीपिते. Once you realize, once you know that your desire is the root cause of all the miseries, that is called you have acquired knowledge. Knowledge is, you see, when in Adhyatma, in spirituality, we say knowledge. Knowledge is just understanding the reason for your misery. Once you know what is the cause of your misery and how you can stay away from the life miseries, that itself is knowledge. It's not some specific information that you should have. Now, this knowledge, this this need may differ from individual to individual. So it's not, this knowledge is not objective, it is subjective. Okay, it will differ from people to people. If it was something objective that, it could have been written in 4 lines, okay, give it to everyone. Now, ज्ञान हो गया सबको, knowledge हो गया. नहीं, it is very subjective. Subjective means, it changes from people to people. Objective is something, which doesn't change from people to people. इसलिए objective answer क्या होता है? Question is there, answer is B. So answer is B for everyone. But subjective is you give one question and then write the answer. Now different person will write different answer. Someone will write it in 3 lines, someone in 4 lines. Okay. And, the context will change. Okay. So that is called subjective. So similarly, Gyan is also subjective. Now something is very easy for me to do, but the same thing may be very difficult for someone to do. Understand? So what this verse tells, सर्वान इंद्रिय कर्माणि प्राण कर्माणि चापरे आत्म संयम योगा, आत्म संयम, self control, योगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञान दीपते. So your actions of your senses, actions of your mind should be towards self control. Control yourself. नहीं बोलते हैं control. Control yourself. Otherwise, your mind will take you and, you will fall in misery. It will take you to places, it will take you to situation where you will fall, in misery. नर्क में गिरोगे, वही नर्क है. नर्क कुछ ऐसा है नहीं. There is no स्वर्ग, there is no heaven and hell. As Gita says, there is no heaven and hell. Okay, you explore through rocket and whatever, you will not find anywhere hell or heaven. It's all here only. Someone who is in miserable situation, he is in hell. Someone is very comfortable, he is in peaceful mind, he is in heaven. Understand? Okay, so all your actions, sense organ actions or your mind actions should be directed towards controlling yourself from anything which will bring in misery. So what is that anything? That anything is kamana, that is desire. And desire also, now I have desire to help someone, I have desire to do good for someone. That is, that you cannot call kamana. Desire, the negative desire is kamana. The desire which will cause misery for you is kamana. So Gita very much stresses that you should live for humanity. You should do good for others, for your community, for your nation, for the world. Okay, it very much stresses this. And this is very pleasing. When you help someone, you will feel something inside you, which is very good for you. Okay, so all your actions, sense organ actions, your mind actions should be directed towards self-control. Control yourself from getting into wrong actions, the actions which will cause misery for you. Okay. Then the 28th verse, द्रव्य यज्ञास्तपो यज्ञा योग यज्ञास्तथा परे स्वाध्याय ज्ञान यज्ञाश्च यततः संसित व्रता. Sansit vrata means you have to be determined. Okay, so I have determined to do yajna. Understand? I have determined to do yajna. And as far as food is concerned, many of you will see that I am not saying that I am fully determined, but somewhat I am determined because because I learned from these verses. There was celebration in our office. There were variety of food items, but I ate my own food. That the boiled bajra was there. Okay, that I had brought. No one, some of our colleagues, they took 1 or 2 spoonful just to test, what kind of food Krishna eats. No one showed interest in that. I had that food. There were varieties of sweets, namkeens and all those things. So that is determination. I'm not praising, but I'm trying to, exemplify. So you have to be determined in your endeavor. And that is what the yajna is, and you will benefit from this. Yajna is always for your benefit. So whatever you are doing for your benefit. You see, Gita very clearly says, whatever you are doing for your benefit. Not to harm yourself or not to torture yourself. Understand? That is not the purpose. If you feel you are getting tortured, then there is something wrong. समझ रहे हो रवि Ankit? Okay, so the purpose of all these sacrifices is not to torture you. It is to keep you away from the misery. If you feel tortured, then you have to think there is something wrong, or I am doing something in not right manner. Okay, so sarvan indriya karmani prana karmani chapare atma sanyam yogagno juhvati jnana deepate. And Gita declares, if you cannot sacrifice, you can never be happy. You can never be free from misery. You have to do sacrifice. You have to do sacrifice. If you did not sacrifice, I tell you, none of us would be where we are today. Be honest and tell me, didn't you sacrifice when you were in high school? Didn't you sacrifice to get good marks in class 10 or in your engineering? Didn't you sacrifice to grow in your career? This is what Gita is telling. And that sacrifice itself is yajna. That is for your benefit. It is declared. Declaration is also there. That also I will read out. Now, the verse number 28. द्रव्य यज्ञास्तपो यज्ञा योग यज्ञास्तथा परे स्वाध्याय ज्ञान यज्ञाश्च यततः संसित व्रता. So Sansit Vrata, okay, sorry, I had already read this verse. So Sansit Vrata, you have to be determined. And how sacrifices are done by different people. Some do it through sacrifice of their wealth. Now you see, if I exemplify Microsoft chairman Bill Gates, he is spending so much money to uplift the condition of people in Africa. That is also a yajna. There is some benefit, that's why he is doing. Some mental peace he is getting. Another way of doing yajna is tapo yajna. Tapa means austerity. You maintain some, you follow some discipline. This discipline may be financial discipline. I will not spend here, there. Okay. Or I will follow this rule. That is austerity. Tap. Usko tap, Sanskrit word for that is tap. I will work 16 hours a day. My son says I will study 12 hours a day. Okay. So that is also tap. Eh? In Bihar, parents will force their kids to do this tap. Get up at 3 o'clock and study. Okay. So Dravya Yagyas, Tapo Yagyas, Yoga Yagyas Tatha Pare. And some, to unite with the ultimate power, what we call Brahma or Allah. Okay. For unison, they do yagya, they do sacrifices, rising above this material plane. And all this, how it will happen? How you will do this? Why you will do all these sacrifices? You have to know that there are benefits of this sacrifice. It will liberate you from the miseries. So, Swadhyaya, Jnana Yagyascha. So when you study, why we are here? We are here to learn, to get the knowledge and wisdom of Gita, which will make our life better. So Swadhyaya means self-study. Gyan Yagyas. And by acquiring knowledge, you see, there are so many superstitions and what I will say, misbeliefs in our society. In Indian society, we have so many misbeliefs. I have talked about this before also. Okay. Why it is there? Because we are lacking in knowledge. And you can be a real spiritual person only if you have good knowledge of science, you have good knowledge of psychology, you have good knowledge of geography. Otherwise, what these religious, people will say, you will have to believe, you will believe it. Like kid believes, whatever his father or his elders say. So you have to have knowledge and then think rationally. Don't just believe whatever someone will say. Okay. So Swadhyaya, self-study, okay, and through acquisition of knowledge and being determined in your endeavor, you can do better yajna. Better yajna means sacrifice that will help you get rid of your misery and make your future better. And always remember, these sacrifices are not to torture you. So Gita doesn't encourage, that senseless fasting. Fasting should be there. Fasting should be there for the benefit of your body. Even science says that, once in a week, you should fast. But you should not fast continuously 2-3 days, to please God. Hey, come on, yaar. How God will be happy with your fasting? This is complete nonsense. So these kind of wisdom and sense you should have. So Swadhyaya Jnana Yagyascha. So once you have these, knowledge, these Jnana, okay, you will get liberated. Okay, and that is also a yajna. So acquiring knowledge, doing self-study is also yajna. Okay, because it will help you make your condition better. Okay. Now let's read this. So this was in the beginning, it is 23rd verse, but I brought it last because it's like, conclusion. गत संगस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थित चेतसः यज्ञाचरतः कर्म समग्रम प्रविलीयते. गत संगस्य, get rid of all the attachment, free yourself from attachment. ये मेरा घर, this is my house. ये मेरा गाड़ी, this is my vehicle. Okay, ये मेरा बेटा, my son. My. The more you have this sense of my, the more there will be attachment. And this attachment itself is bondage. ये रस्सी है. It's like a rope which is tying you. And what else can be more pleasing than freedom? You have to break all these bondages. Breaking all these bondages doesn't mean that, you give up your house and give up your vehicle. Vehicle, house, will be there, but your attitude will be different now. You will do the same thing, but after learning Gita, the way you do things, with the mindset you do things will be different. Mindset will change. It doesn't say that, okay, give away your car to someone or give away your house to someone. Or, don't care about your son or wife. That is duty you have to do. And in the performance of duty, if you die, it is better to die. That also Gita says. But all it says is change your mindset. If you have attachment, then that will cause misery. So, gat sangasya muktasya. Be free from all these attachment and be liberated. Mukt. Mukt means get liberated. But how you will get liberated? When you have knowledge. When you live in consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness is choice. Choices that you make comes from consciousness. Okay. Your body will say, okay, binge, eat, okay, all those, spicy and junk food. Your body will say, but your consciousness will tell you, no, these are not good for health. So when you live in consciousness, you will listen to what your consciousness tells. When you live by your body, you will do whatever your body will tell. So that's what it is telling. Jnana vasthit chetasa. Live in your consciousness and knowledge. You know that these are not good for your health. You live in consciousness because see, body is driven by the secretions of various chemicals, and so the moment you see something tasty, there will be secretions in your body, there will be secretion in your mind, which will prompt you to eat. But when you live in consciousness, you can override it. So that's why consciousness is higher than body. Consciousness is higher than the physical plane. You can control the physical plane when you live in consciousness. So gat sangasya muktasya jnana avasthit chetasah yagyachartah karma samagram pravidiyate. And all your actions should be directed towards, or all your actions should be like yajna. All your actions should be like yajna. I have to sacrifice. I have to burn all the negative qualities. I have to burn all the causes which are the reason for misery. That is what the acharan, the behavior in the spirit of yajna is, in the spirit of renunciation is. So your actions should be in the spirit of renunciation. A spirit of renunciation, when you have this, it doesn't mean that you give away your house and car, as I told you. It will be there. Your mindset will change. Now you are peaceful. Now you are relaxed. You got my point? So this is the meaning of yajna. Okay. Ritual, it was there in earlier days, all these things used to happen, Om, Swaha, Swaha, Swaha. But now science. How, you put something in fire and that will go to God. And moreover, your God itself is, something that you have imagined. There is only one God. That is Brahma, Paramatma. Okay. So this knowledge you should have, and then change yourself. You see, change yourself. तो उस दिन भी अंकित बोल रहा था हमारे पूर्वज करते हैं, पूर्वज करते हैं, पूर्वज बहुत कुछ करते थे जो आज हम नहीं करते हैं. Okay, so we have to change, we have to understand this. So that is the reason, when the real meaning of Gita comes out, हमारे आस्थाओं पे चोट पहुंचती है. कई लोग, they get hurt. But this is what it is. This is the knowledge of Gita, and this is the supreme book. This is Vedanta. This is the crux of Veda. And we have to accept it. And that is the reason, in quote, you put your hands on Gita and then say, मैं जो भी बोलूंगा वो सत्य बोलूंगा. So this book has so much power. This book has such a wisdom. Understand? So, and the last declaration is declaration I have not put in this sheet, but I will just read it out. The declaration is Nayam Nayam Lokostya Ayagyasya Kutonyah Purushottamah. So this wisdom says that if you don't do yajna, you can never be happy. You cannot be happy without, this knowledge, without having this knowledge that yajna is the only route to salvation. This is the route to salvation. You have to do sacrifice. And we are here because of the sacrifices that we have made during our schooling. Okay. During our, what I will say, uh, during our work, in our profession. Correct. So that's all for today, meaning of yajna. If we have, questions, we can take it up. Mallikarjun, Ravi, Reddy Prasad.
सर अंकित बोल रहा हूँ।
अंकित बोलो भाई।
सर वो ये सब हाँ पहले थोड़ा थोड़ा पता है कि हम जो खा रहे हैं जो पहन रहे हैं है ना, ये हमारा माइंड हमसे करवा रहा है या हम कॉन्शियस में नहीं है तो इसलिए हम कर रहे हैं। क्वेश्चन सारा ये आता है कि ये कंट्रोल कैसे किया जाए, मतलब पता है कि हम जो खा रहे हैं वो गलत खा रहे हैं, लेकिन
कंट्रोल,
हाउ वी कंट्रोल इट।
हाँ, कंट्रोल थ्रू प्रैक्टिस. Okay. So, for example, why do you used to get up early in the morning when it was your exam time? Because you knew that if you get up early in the exam time and you work hard, you study hard, you will get good marks. And good marks will bring in glory for you. Good marks will make your future prosperous and better. That was the incentive. Correct. So similarly, you should know the incentive that if you eat good food, which may not be tasty, will keep your health better. It will keep you free from cholesterol. It will keep you free from diabetes. So you should know the benefit. Once you know the benefit, then you will start doing it. The problem is you don't know the benefit of this. Understand? Once you know the benefit, you will definitely do sacrifice. You don't know the pain of a person who suffers from diabetes. You don't know the pain of a person who suffers from cholesterol. You don't know the pain of a person who suffers from artery disease. So you have to know this. 4 डायबिटीज पेशेंट से बात करो, डर के खुद जो है सो कि तुम you will become disciplined the way you used to get disciplined during our exam time. Understand? So you should know the benefit. Why you will do? Why I will control my food habit if I don't know the benefit of it? Why I will run in the morning if I don't know the benefit of it? Because running is a painful.
Correct.
Body starts aching. But once you know the benefit, you will do it. And you should be determined. You have knowledge. You know that, it is for my good. It is to free myself from miseries. Once you have this knowledge, you will make right decision. You be determined. No. Whatever it is, I will do it. I will follow it. So,
सर डिटर्मिनेशन रहता है 1 वीक तक रहता है, 2 वीक तक रहता है, 1 मंथ तक रहता है,
बिकॉज आप बेनिफिट भूल जाते हैं ना,
फिर डिटर्मिनेशन ओवर पावर हो जाती है डिजायर्स.
And now you see this desire also. Desire is, it's all physical. I told you, no, desire is all physical. It happens at a physical level. So it's all because of secretion of, we study science. We also know that, when we see something tasty, okay, there will be some secretion in our body, which will make you go and eat it. So जब तुम अपने आप को फिजिकल लेवल से थोड़ा ऊपर उठाओगे ना, it will become easy for you to control. And moreover, it is determination. You have to be determined in your endeavor, in your resolution. So many people take resolution, okay, this year I will do good gym. वो 10 दिन चलता है, खत्म.
हाँ
न्यू
वो
ईयर
ड्रिंक
रिजोल्यूशन, इट्स फैशनेबल, है
ड्रिंक
ना.
नहीं पीऊंगा, हाँ ड्रिंक नहीं करूंगा।
ड्रिंक्स नहीं करूंगा, बट तो वो डिटर्मिनेशन का अभाव है. ओके, सो दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई वी डू प्रेयर डेली. प्रेयर रोज करने का फायदा क्या है? ऐसा थोड़ी है कि स्वर्ग चले जाओगे.
हम्म
प्रेयर करने से न तुम स्वर्ग जाओगे न नर्क जाओगे. बट व्हाई डू वी डू प्रेयर? बिकॉज इट रिमाइंड्स, वी हैव टू कीप आवर माइंड रिमाइंडिंग. होता क्या है, 7 days you do exercise, then you, okay, yeah, because you have stopped reminding. 7 days before, you very well knew this, but after 7 days you start forgetting it, willingly or unwillingly. So when you do prayer, you remind same thing again and again and again. मैं लोगों का भला करूंगा. Every day when you do this kind of prayer, my life is, to help others, or I will help others. So you remind yourself, I am here to help others. Okay, so that is the reason, same prayer, same thing you do daily, 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 daily. So you have to keep reminding also yourself. This is this is why we do this repetitive task. Even if we know, we do it because we have to. So Gita, I have read multiple times, but I still keep reading because I have to keep reminding myself of the benefits of yajna. So it's not that this is the last session that I will be reading about yajna. I will repeat it, I will read it, because there is tendency of this physical body to forget the knowledge. Understand? So that's why repetition is required.
Okay, sir, understood.
Okay. Any question from anyone? Naveen? I see Naveen also today. Adil? Ravi? रवि, कोई सवाल?
इसे क्लियर है सर?
क्लियर है ना? तो यज्ञ, यज्ञ मीन्स living in the spirit of renunciation. Renunciation not to torture us, to benefit us, to liberate us from the miseries. Always remember, Adhyatma doesn't tell you to do something to torture you. And this, in our society, we have taken it in a very wrong way. We start torturing ourselves, through, long fasting, or, taking up some, that is not prescribed. That's not a spiritualism. Okay. So a spirit of renunciation for your benefit, for your liberation. Okay. So no questions, no more questions. Then we will end this session today. So today, very good session we had. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We understood what is yajna. Okay. Rituals and all, you see, I'm telling you guys very frankly, you may get some beating from your family, but rituals and all has no meaning. It doesn't have, okay, it may act like placebo, but जितना भी हम करते हैं ना, वो सब उसका कोई खास महत्व नहीं है. Okay, the important thing is knowledge. We have to know what is the reality. सत्य क्या है, हमको सत्य जानना है. खेल कूद चलता रहेगा, फंक्शन चलता रहेगा यार, एंजॉयमेंट चलता रहेगा. Okay, so spirituality is all about sacrifices and all. Okay, elevating ourselves from the physical pain. But what we do, पूजा पाठ में हम मजा करने लगते हैं. And sometimes this takes, very ugly form. Like you see, sacrificing animals and all. Come on, यार, किसी का हत्या कर रहे हो. You are murdering someone. And in the name of religion, in the name of God, to please God, I am doing this. कितनी कितनी बुरी बात है किसी का हत्या करना, and that too, in religious functions. तो सब रिचुअल का कोई खास महत्व नहीं है. एंड दीज रिचुअल्स हैव बीन डिजाइंड कि हम मजा कैसे करेंगे, हाउ वी विल एंजॉय, हाउ आवर सेंसेस विल एंजॉय द सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट्स. सो उस रिचुअल्स में कुछ खास रखा नहीं है. ओके, सो इम्पोर्टेंट इज नोइंग what is the truth, doing good for others, doing good for yourself.
Correct.
Okay, having attitude and tendencies which will keep our mind cool and peaceful. That is the purpose of life. न टेंशन लेना है, न टेंशन देना है, सबसे मिलजुल के काम करना है, जितनों का भला हो सके भला कर देना है। ये लाइफ बहुत छोटी है, जितना का भला कर सको कर दो। इन वॉट एवर स्पेस यू आर, प्रोफेशनल स्पेस में हो, किसी को चार को सिखा दो यार कुछ स्किल। अंडरस्टैंड? भगवान पैसा दिए हैं, किसी को हेल्प कर दो, जो जो तुम्हारे चारों तरफ है, इन योर सराउंडिंग, किसी को हेल्प की जरूरत है। दैट इज द रियल पूजा, दैट इज द रियल रिलीजियस एक्ट। ये